they became better in the team coordination, but that's like that applies to literally every other LCS team as well, because they already had like really good laners. I think we have bigger champion pool than they do, and we are also better at adapting. We usually struggle in best of ones, we tend to just lose a bit of concentration or something. But in best of fives, I think we have the edge over GMB.
Championship series where it's all tied up at 1 win apiece between the Unicorns of Love and Gambit Gaming. We just heard here, Unicorns have deeper champion pools. They've demonstrated it here today. We definitely demonstrated our misreading.
I feel so bad, man.
Dude, we got outplayed. It was definitely not UDA in that previous game.
I thought it was going to be 2 tweets and you just kind of lost the end of it.
Yeah, sorry, Jat. We apologize. We dropped the ball on that one.
Yes.
But let's be frank.
But so did Gambit. About 12 minutes when they dived against Unicorns.
Tried the exact same comp. It did not work out. We're in game 3.
Hey, they can pick it again. They can pick it again.
Gambit had the option of side choice, blue or red, and that's why they are on the red side in this particular matchup. They were the highest seed coming into the playoff, and they have opted into the counter pick scenario. They did not take advantage of that in the previous game, and we're not seeing a divergence from the bans
No,
just
exactly
yet.
the same. And I wonder if Unicorns is going to try and go with some of the same comp. They have to remember they were losing the early to mid game. And hadn't been for that dive from Gambit, the game would have been completely different. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see Gambit go for somewhat the same, because it has already shown it is a very effective comp from them. Problem is just Pinoy and the Zergot is dying in lane when he's not supposed to.
And we saw how important that first pick Morgana was for Hylissang.
Exactly the same.
3 games in a row for Morgana for Hylissang, and when you're hitting as many dark bindings...
Why not just go Marco Rexa again for Gambit? I mean, we might just see exactly the same comps.
Swing and a miss, swing and a hit. Gambit have won 1, lost 1. Let's see if it's just execution. Maybe we'll see the similar types of comps 5 games in a row. And it'll come down to decision making in game. Is there a more manly way to prove you're the better team?
There's not. Unless you play Bard.
Well, Nidalee is not going to be seen as we've highlighted. Rek'Sai obviously locked in here for Diamond. But with the Sejuani band away on the side of Unicorns, plus that Gragas...
I mean, this is a repeat. I mean, Gambit has no reason not to just go Urgot again. And
we might need
they had the Cho'Gath as well.
We might need to get another play-by-play up here, because if these fights keep going the length that they're going, I may run it. Are we really going to see another Gragas Cho'Gath? Urgot Cho'Gath. Let's see. No,
so
for the time being.
I would probably
nothing's changed yet.
I would save my mid lane pick and just go for Urgot Janna here. So you can see if Unicorns are going for Orianna again. That the Cho'Gath doesn't work fine against her. But for Gambit here, they can still be happy getting Rek'Sai and Maokai. Because it is a super, super good combination in terms of ganking that top lane. You get a massive fed tank. Okay, they're swapping it up here. No Urgot from Gambit. After struggling in the laning phase twice against the Jinx and Morgana because they got caught out. They now swap the big fat Urgot who gets hit by every single binding with Kalista who jumps around all the time. So that should be a lot easier now for Pinoy to avoid getting binding.
4 games played in the regular season for Pinoy on Kalista, undefeated on this champion. Eddie playing Nami. It will in fact be the first time that we're seeing it. No games played during the regular season on that champion. So we'll see how accurate his Aqua Prisms are. But as you mentioned, as you've already alluded to, the mobility going to play a little bit in favor of Eddie. We'll see what Chachi, rather what Kikis decides to run in the jungle. I don't know if he's going to be brave enough to run Udyr into Kalista, who can in theory hop, skip, and kite.
Well, the thing
I'm going to be way off. He's going to go for it.
Kalista has the same problem somewhat as an Urgot, where late game, you need so many hits before you can get enough stacks on a target with the Rend to blow it and kill a tank. So Udyr can do it exactly the same and just run in the face, and he can keep catching up to Kalista. Or at least he should be able to.
If he goes Boots of Swiftness and Best Dance
exactly, like, it's very hard for Pinoy to dance around. We have to remember that attack speed nerf that happened a few patches ago to Kalista, making it a bit harder to kite around. So Kikis will be able to catch him. And point and click stun is what you need against Kalista to lock her down in her mobility. Obviously, Power of Evil going back to the same pick as in game 1 for him, before even seeing what Gambit is locking in. So they're doing somewhat a mix of the two games, where again it's a very slow scaling comp, where with 2 immobile carries and a Black Shield to protect them is somewhat the only thing, because obviously the Udi and Sign can peel, but they also want to go towards the backline of Gambit. So we are swapping up things a little bit. The mid game and early game is still heavily in favor of Gambit in this case. Kalista and Nami is a fantastic lane early on, and of course Ahri, we know how good she is in the mid lane. She can get kills on Power of Evil here. So it's somewhat the same setup in terms of who has the early mid game power and who has the late game. Let's see if Unicorns can manage to hold on. I'm not sold just because they did it in the last game, because of the play Gambit made that gave them these 4 kills on Power of Evil. We're gonna have to see if they have improved and can, you know, in terms of their...
Not make the same mistakes.
Not get gifted 4 kills on their mid laner and still get to late game. That's what we're gonna have to see. I like this pick honestly for Kickers in this case as well, because there's still... Okay, Ahri's gonna add some more damage on him. But Kalista, if he's running at her with boots of swiftness and everything, it's tough to say for some reason, he should be able to stun him and then single target focus from Unicorns.
Well, we'll see whether or not Gambit's altered team composition can work. They've got better siege, slightly improved wave clear, I think, with their Ahri and their mobility as well. Team comps are on your screen, guys. You've been voting Unicorns all day. Let's see whether or not your faith has been shaken. Hashtag UOL win, hashtag GMB win, at LOL Esports. We will keep track of those votes. This is the first time Gambit have altered their team comp in the series. And once again, they opted into red side for game 3 as we load up onto the Rift. Gambit Gaming, the higher seed, looking to maintain control of the series. Laning phase, all important for the Unicorns of Love. Kickers was counter-ganking Diamond Procs for the entirety of the laning phase previously. We should expect more of the same.
We have to remember that level 2 gank as well from him. He did red buff and then he went straight to the bottom lane, flashed onto Pinoy and killed him with Vardax and Hylissang. Gambit once again looking to invade at level 1, get then these wards to try and spot where Unicorns are sending their laners. You can be more than happy doing standard lanes again for Gambit. Kalista Nami, super strong, especially if you win the race for level 2. Your all-in potential is fantastic on an immobile carry like Jinx.
Small adaptation for the Unicorns of Love this game. Group themselves up to mirror the invade from Gambit. Get their own vision down. Let's see if they make any changes to their laning setup as it stands. In the 2 previous games, we've had head-to-heads, but as you've already touched on, Deficio, Hylissang and Vardax seem to set their sights in this top lane.
Can't really blame him for that one. This is a tricky matchup, and Sign obviously does really well in a lane swap. He gets the level 2 from the camp, and he can sit and farm with his E still from range in the swaps. So we will have no information for Gambit to really spot what's going on. They have a ward between the towers, but they obviously haven't seen anything. So they should expect now it's going to be a swap. And look at this. Very early on, they group the minions together so they can do crooks as well. Don't have to do Grump and not get a freeze. Let's see if they manage to line them up correctly to all hit the first minion. Beautiful setup. So you get the freeze with this, because now obviously your first minion here is going to die a lot faster than the first minion from the Unicorns, and you got the crooks. Normally what happens is you do like Grump, you get to the lane extremely late, and then you don't get a freeze, and you have to build up the wave and go potentially and dive the enemy top lane if he shows up with Gambit here. Smart adaptation.
Very well thought out. Flash bubble forces the flash from Power of Evil. That's going to be so important for Betsy to grab control of the middle lane. And for the first time in 3 games, we should see some action, considering Betsy's got a relatively advantageous matchup before 6. And then once Power of Evil can stop
summoners of Power of Evil even used a Ghost. Clearly a little bit of panic when suddenly a Nami at level 1 flashes in with the bubble. So really nice start from the bottom lane of Gambit. Now we need to see what they can do with Sign already showing.
It's going to be the flash bear slap again.
A lot of people behind
Bear
him.
slap is up, the slow lands, manages to get the charm on Morgana. We do see the ignite, but here comes Diamond to counter gank Unicorns of Love. Kickers, 100 HP, but trying to get away. We do see those auto attacks onto Diamond. In reply, Unicorns did the best they could to get something back, and they trade summoners across the board.
Credit to Betsy here for staying on the bottom side of the map. When you have these lane swaps again, you rotate the map around, so he knew they were going to be on the top side, stayed there, had Diamond as well come in and help him. And meanwhile, while we've talked so much about what Gambit did on the bottom lane, the mid lane ganks, top lane, I don't think there was a freeze from the Unicorns. At least they haven't done anything to stop Capuchat. Look at the damage here from Gambit. But up in the top lane here, because Hylissang was roaming and jungling, Capuchat got a lot of farm in the lane. Will also be able to survive here. 10 CS, free farming or getting XP at least. So great start for him. Just because Hylissang was running around on the map, he went straight top lane just to one-on-one the Jinx.
So a lot of pressure on both of these top laners. Chachi got caught by the bubble, bursted down from Pinoy. Cabochard gets caught by the binding, gets chunked down from Fardags, even on CS relatively. No utility summoners or mobility summoners there from Power of Evil in the mid lane, but nor is there anything for Betsy, so that sort of evens out the level of aggression.
Yeah, but Gambit also gave blue buff over to Cabochard to make him strong in this lane. He has no teleport now, so he does get hurt a little bit from the gank, I guess we can call it, from Hylissang. But he's been able to farm pretty well. Now this is a massive wave pushing in, and there's no threat on Visichachi because Diamond and Cabochard are obviously on the top side of the map, or at least they know Cabochard is there, so they're not going to dive on the Cyan. He's going to get all this farm, especially because Kick is here helping as well.
Well, Kikis and Chachi going to defend this tower. Eddie is going to land another bubble as Pinoy is going to keep bursting out. Kikis, that's a lot of damage from 6 or 7 Ren stacks. Pinoy, once that decimating smash is used, realize there's not a whole lot more threat from Visichachi. And of course he had his summoners available, continues to play aggressively. 34 CS, Pinoy and Edward just shoving this wave in again and again, trying to keep Chachi on the defensive.
Yeah, they did manage to at least deny him some of the farm. He got all the XP, but he had to share it with
another
nice
bubble,
trading.
he's in trouble. Ignite is burning away.
He's down.
Visichachi 6 HP, one more tick. Edward is landing Aqua Prison after Aqua Prison. And all of the aggression pays off for the first blood on the Fish.
Yeah, such a nice start from this bottom lane here. We criticized the 2-and-2 laning from Gambit beforehand because they got caught by Hylissang and his bindings. But this time around, the lane swap. First a trick where to get the freeze and a jungle camp. And now with this kill here, super nice setup because meanwhile, Cabochard is still just sitting in the top lane farming for himself. He had the blue buff. He got in the lane one-on-one super early. He's level 5. Same level as Vardak, so there's no zoning potential unless it's 2 guys from Unicorns of Love being there. And that's also why they swap it back, despite not even getting a BF sword on Jinx. This is really bad timing now for Unicorns. Because if you look here at Pinoy, with that assist at least, he managed to get a BF sword, so he's going to be so much stronger in the 2-and-2 lane. And the same can be said for Chachi up here, just farming on his own. Obviously not going to be able to kill this Chachi on this Maokai, or with the Maokai. But really, really good start in the lane swap from Gambit.
So let's see if they can keep it up. Gambit in all 3 games have done well in the early stages. They completely controlled game 1. They were marginally ahead in game 2 before giving up basically the match. And this time around, the lane swap working in their favor. Small wins across the board, really. And they fended off the early gank attempts from Kikis in the middle lane.
Weevil has summoners ready again. They're gonna go for him.
Oh, this is a little bit scary. Let's see if anyone gets caught out. Let's see, not able to get in range and Power of Evil still alive, but summoner
Such a problem, yeah, such a problem for him. Big win again for Gambit because you have Betsy. You can dash in towards him and just force a fight every single time you want this. Pick from Power of Evil has, a bit like in game 1, honestly, not worked for him in the early game. That's not expected either. You are very slow scaling, but still, it gives up so much pressure here where we normally see Power of Evil be one of these lane bullies in the UOL CS. He's gone for the late game carries, all 3 games.
Well, adjusting maybe their play style. This is the Unicorns of Love to try get themselves closer to a semi-final position. Modifying their team comps. You know, they ran this style of comp once before, and we did see on the first back. Power of Evil got himself that tier plus boots. Try to dodge around those charms. With blue buff, he'll be stacking that up as quickly as possible. We did see Betsy grab himself a ward. Needs the large rod. Chilling smite for Kickus. Stalkers. Challenging smite for Diamond.
It seems like Luden's Echo rush here from Betsy. It's gonna give him an insane amount of burst in the early game. You got that BF Sword completed on Kalista as well for Pinoy. So both the carries are doing really well. And obviously, should obviously mean that Gambit, when it comes to the first few fights, if they want to set up a dragon, they're going to be so much stronger than the Unicorns. And they have to go for them, because it's not an easy way, but it's a great way of forcing a slow scaling comp to go into some bad team fights when you have 4 dragons. You force the 5th one, even potentially the 3rd one. Chachi just holding back the lane here, but you got to aim for these early dragons if you are Gambit. When you are this far ahead on your carries, simply because you want to force that ticking time bomb to be a thing.
Now let's see, they've got the numbers advantage in the bottom lane. Eddie and Pinoy have been playing aggressively all series. They've got an item advantage. Look at the CS advantage that's growing. And if Edward on this Nami can land a few more of those Aqua Prisms onto Vardags, maybe they can turn it around, but it is a little bit easier to Black Shield an Aqua Prism, considering you can see it flying through the air. So extra time for Hylissang, who really has been on form of this Morgana all game long.
That's very true, but it's different cooldown. I mean, you got 22 seconds on Black Shield, where the bubble on Nami is 13 seconds. So there's quite a difference here. Eddie can throw it out, bait the Black Shield, and then just have round 2 ready before Black Shield is ready. So we talk about these early dragons. Well, Diamond, he seems to agree. Going down to Solid. You are winning mid lane, you're winning bottom lane. You have both lanes pushed down. There is nothing that can stop Diamond from taking this one. And that's why he can just start it on his own. He doesn't even care about the ward. Because how is Power of Evil going to move? How is Vardax going to move and stop it? They're not.
And they don't. So 10 minutes, 3 seconds. Dragon is secured for Gambit once more. And sort of the leading man in both of these team comps has been the junglers. Diamond from game 1, snowballing Kabashard ahead. Kickus grabbing control with that Udyr frontline. Yes, Power of Evil was the shining star, the lead singer, if you will. But Kickus' Udyr allowed so much of that work to happen. Let's see if any of these Aqua Prism trades does connect onto Vardags. Black Shield traded. And with Tidal Wave available, is going to throw it out. Going to go very aggressive. Vardags going to get slowed. Pinoy does get caught by the Dark Binding and unable to secure the kill, but that is a lot of presence and pressure and a big minion wave that is potentially going to be denied.
Another good Black Shield from Hylissang here. Completely wasted it before, honestly. Let's see what happens top. Is a gang onto Kabashard. He has flash ready, but there's a lot of CC. Wow. That was a nice dodge with the W.
Got away from the decimating smash,
Still
but he
down.
cannot get away from the onslaught.
And the Lumberjack Scion takes down the tree.
Combos with the man Bear Pig to chop down the oak tree. Prolly may have something to say about that. We'll have to see whether or not Vizichach and Kickus can keep it up. This time around, Diamond not in place to counter gank. And Kickus, in fact, with a nice positive gank, where he was so focused on counter ganking in game 1. Power of Evil gets caught by the dash charm. And that was just all too easy from Betsy. I don't think Flash was available. It looks like it's just going to come off cooldown in a moment or two.
There was a flash blown earlier from the Diamond Gang. He's putting all his focus on this mid lane, and why not? You have such an easy matchup where you can get these kills just by dashing in. Flash was used from Betsy, but it's worth it because you got tower, and also you can go back and finish that Luden's Echo if you want it as a first item for him with the large rod. So he's going to be so farmed on this Ahri.
Deficio, you were praising Gambit's early game, and yes, their comp does sort of become active sooner, but look at the CS differences in the mid lane. Betsy in a favorable matchup, plus obviously the early gank working in his favor. Pinoy working wonders with Edward in the lane swap to get an early item lead and continuing to punish Vardags. Gambit with a pretty clear game plan, losing the public sentiment, but they do currently have the lead. They just can't afford to make the same mistakes they did from the previous game.
All right, the weird-looking champion going towards the top lane. Just managed to clear a ward, nothing else for him. Still, Kickus, he's been farming really well. It's what you do. I mean, you're always gonna win farm, nearly always. On Udyr here, because you're just so healthy and you have so much AoE clear. Just for people wondering, he's maxing his
Phoenix stance.
Of course, and now engage Pinoy.
Even on Callista, Pinoy
Oh, he can
gets
still
caught.
kill him.
He is going to bring Fate's Call out. The bubble doesn't connect, but it's not needed. Vardax gets the kill, gets excited, and he's going to get Edward. Pinoy, look, all praise to Hylissang. He is connecting over and over, but Pinoy had flash. Now Diamond is gonna find Vizicachi. Here comes Caboshard. The counter gank from definitely not Udia. Caboshard is gonna twist and advance in. Vengeful Maelstrom still ticking, and Kikis will scare them away. As Betsy is sniffing around mid lane. Flash is used from Power of Evil in exchange for that Spirit Rush. But yeah, go back again. Pinoy cannot afford to get caught by those Dark Bindings, especially at the tower with Flash.
And it's funny because back in week 9, the last week here in the UOL CS, Gambit had the same problem against the Unicorns. This time around it was Eddie dying in the 2v2 lane. And 3 games in a row now, Pinoy's been caught, giving up kills. In a lane matchup, he's winning. Anyhow, let's see what happens here at the blue buff. TP's coming in from Caboshard. Betsy has no ulti, remember, he just used it before.
The snipe comes in, it was Hylissang plus Kikis that gets a kill credit. Remember, without that Spirit Rush, Betsy's threat is so much lower. He charms Vizicachi, got Luden's Echo proc bouncing across the board, but it's not going to be enough to save Caboshard. 2 quick kills, and Gambit are punished for being caught in enemy territory. It's game 2 all over again.
Much like game 2, again here, Gambit feel like they have to go for a fight despite not having ulti on your Ahri in the mid lane. You didn't have to invade on that blue buff. You're not really gaining a whole lot by doing it, other than it being an extremely risky call. Hylissang had roamed from base up there to join his team, and once again, the Unicorns, despite falling behind early, they punish Gambit for making mistakes. And that's 5 kills.
2 of them on Vardax. Earliest Infinity Edge of the series, 15 minutes played. Jinx in all 3 games. Still behind in CS to Pinoy. And obviously been involved in some of those fights. And Gambit...
He's been behind in every game, but he's been getting kills in every game. So it almost doesn't even matter for him. And now Gambit is gonna... They're still in a fine spot in terms of, you know, hitting the mid game. You got Luden's Echo on Ahri, so she can one-shot nearly everything on the side of Unicorns of Love. But you're making it a lot harder for yourself. Dragon is spawning in 30 seconds. Gambit has to secure this one to keep going towards his 5th or the 5 dragons and force Unicorns into some fights before potentially they are ready. It's what they did in game 1 that works so well.
And let's talk a little bit about Hylissang, because Annie has been banned by Gambit in all 3 games. And Morgana's been first picked, or first rotation picked in all 3 games. Edward gets caught out by the bear slap. The rest of Gambit are going to respond. They're going to try to defend this tower. Dark Binding this time goes a little wide as Diamond wasn't far enough forward. The Unicorns, thanks to that, get the mid-outer turret and positioning for the next dragon.
And look at the spike they just hit here with Power of Evil. He had Luden's Echo complete, he had a blue buff, and he hit level 11, so he got rank 2 on his ulti. And that was the signal here for Unicorns of Love to just start grouping, poke down. They got so much damage on the tower. We'll get a dragon as well. Gambit is trying to respond though, saying, fine, okay, you take that dragon, we're gonna try and trade at least for a top tower. But as soon as you hit level 11 for Power of Evil, that's where you group from the Unicorns, and it paid off.
So advantage to the Unicorns. They trade tower for tower, but get their first dragon of the game. And I just want to revisit that point really quickly. Hylissang's Morgana has been first picked or first rotation picked, and Annie's been banned out 3 games in a row. Do Gambit look at this and say, is it worth the ban? If you're spending a support ban anyway, and Hylissang really has been very, very instrumental in punishing Pinoy, well, anybody else.
Here's the thing, though.
It's a consideration, right?
If you know the Unicorns are gonna first pick Morgana, giving you Rek'Sai Maokai,
no, that's fair. Yeah, good point.
That's a fine trade for you. It's not because Morgana is some fantastic OP pick. It's because Pinoy is misplaying in the laning phase.
And Hylissang's hitting.
Sure,
predicting it.
Hylissang is playing fantastic on it. But if he has a Tippers instead and smacks down in the face of Pinoy, that's somewhat gonna be the same result.
Yeah.
You can give him a Thresh, he's gonna land the hook instead. And you have the same deal.
Well, Hylissang and the rest of the Unicorns keeping themselves absolutely bang on even, despite the big CS differences. Just really working in their favor. Eddie, whoa! He stepped back into that one. And it's Vardax that gets the kill secure.
I see your point though, because Hylissang really is fantastic on the champion. I mean, he's landing everything. 2 games in a row now. And he has that black shield, which is going to be so important late game for his 2 carries. Oh, well, for one of them.
And it works so well with Udyr. Obviously, there's a lot more magic damage to pop it this time round. Let's see, can Gambit defend a tower? I don't think so, because Diamond once again gets caught. They're jumping onto him. Kikis is trying to run him down. Phoenix is ticking away. Tunnel after tunnel, tunnel after tunnel. Diamond is continuing to run.
And Flash
is out the wall. Dark Binding almost scratching the behind of Diamond, and Power of Evil. The rest of Unicorns are now in retreat.
What happened in the middle, though?
Shard, the tree, jumps onto the Lumberjack. And let's see who will win that battle. We did see Vardex was caught out, as now Kikis, he's found himself a fish. Charm connects onto Hillisang, and that Black Shield's not going to help. My word, there is action everywhere. As the Unstoppable Onslaught's used to run away. Now Kikis is a bit out of sorts. Got the support of Hillisang and Power of Evil, but Unicorn's on the wrong side of the map. You're wearing the wrong colors, buddies. Power of Evil now trying to make a detour through the bottom half of the map. Teleport coming in from Vizichachi. Once again, Dark Binding connects. And this is the strangest period of play. As they carry on trading kills back and forth. It all started with Vardex getting caught out somehow.
Yeah, we didn't get to see that one.
And then everybody just running. It's not over, because now Diamond is looking for more.
Calm down, Trev. It is over.
Okay. Decimating Smash connects, and that'll be the final nail in the coffin in that fight. But that was weird.
Yeah, a lot of small fights everywhere. And Pinoy here is going for Hurricane. I don't like that in current tank meta. You don't have enough damage to take down these big tanks with Hurricane. Anyway, let's see what happens. So, the jump Diamond. Vardex is staying, I assume, wants to start chasing. He's going somewhat on his own into both Betsy and Pinoy, so he ends up dying. We're back and there's more fights and people are dead.
Kikis goes down. Without Udyr, what can Gambit do? Vizichachi's onto Pinoy. Pinoy will be the next victim. No! The rocket misses! It doesn't connect. There's a double kill. Pinoy's been able to life-sustain tank through the entirety of that fight, and Vizichachi unable to get the kill credit. He's not been touched yet. His Power of Evil running low on mana, trying to get more. Here comes Betsy. Spirit Rush is available. Can he find a squishy? The tree is down and the Lumberjack is looking for more. At the end of the fight, they've ended up trading 2 for 1. Gambit come out marginally ahead, but that could have been so different if Pinoy just went down. That rocket from Vardex running a touch wide. And the attack speed keeping Pinoy up with the Bloodthirster.
Yeah, but all these fights here, they've been in favor of Unicorns of Love if you look at the big picture. Because with 20 minutes in, they have a fantastic late game setup, and they're heading gold. They're 1-on-1 in terms of dragons, so they don't have to worry about the 5th dragon coming up anytime soon. And you're getting extremely tanky on both your jungler and your top laner. You're against a Kalista who's now gone Hurricane, so there's no crit to take down any of your big tanks. There's not enough single target damage from Pinoy late game to do anything against Vizichachi and Kikis. So Gambit really has to make plays, and they're trying to, but they're not getting the right ones, because it looks like this crazy game trades even nearly every time. Or Unicorns of Love manage to punish Gambit and then get ahead in gold with a comp that's not supposed to get ahead in gold this early on.
Well, Unicorns of Love will be very happy, as you said, with the fact that they've been given this time. And the fact that they're sitting just quite pretty. You see Power of Evil continuously trying to control the movements of the Gambit squad. Dragon's up in 30 seconds. Unicorns got the previous one uncontested as Gambit lost in mid-tower. But look at the positioning from Gambit. They don't want to give this one up. Teleport's available for Cabashot.
Yeah.
And he might be waiting to TP in.
It's a good play from Gambit. When you have the Ahri in the mid-game here, you want to force these comps to come in and basically blindly walk into a river. And then you stand in one of these bushes here from Betsy, you land that charm, and you one-shot a target and you get that dragon. So that's why they're moving in early to start setting up the vision control. Unicorns have to do the same, because you run 2 immobile carries that cannot risk getting flanked. So you need to be able to see where Gambit is coming from at all times if you ever want to start an objective. And this time here, they have the wards placed now from Unicorns. They cleared quite a lot. They see Gambit walking down the choke point here, so they know where Betsy is, and they know that carries are safe.
Unicorns of Love able to regain control of the pit, secure their 2nd dragon. of the 3 that have been taken. Here comes the unstoppable onslaught. Vizicachi's looking for Pinoy, as is Kikis. That's a lot of damage onto Kikis, and the rest of Unicorns not really putting anything in reply. Kikis will be the first to drop as Vizicachi is looking for more. Power of Evil throwing out artillery shot after artillery shot. Not really able to find more. Kill advantage to Gambit, but Fight really was in control of Unicorns of Love once Power of Evil and Vardags closed the distance that Chachi and Kikis put in front of them.
Kept the backline safe with them diving in. Gambit still got that 1 kill here. Normally Unicorns want to land some poke before they go in for the engage, but clearly felt like they could try and catch Gambit out here. And obviously if you are the one engaging on the likes of a Maoka, on a Rek'Sai, on an Ahri, you stop them from getting to your backline, so that's fine from the Unicorns, but they want to land some poke first with Power of Evil. That's also why he's building his Luden's Echo.
It's been very interesting to see how, there we go, Marcel Dexter, of course. Hillsong's hitting every bind. Yeah, that's what we talked about.
The only concern is just why won't he just do it on Thresh? I mean, it's going to be the same deal here.
Theoretically.
I get the point for Gambit in leaving it open because Unicorns are first picking it, so you get so strong picks for it.
I'll tell you why Hillsong won't do it on Thresh, because he's played it 4 times, and he's 0-4.
Still used to be one of his main picks.
It was. I am being a little unfair. Yes, he's got no wins. Hillsong's Thresh has an 80% kill participation. That is a phenomenally high stat. 1 kill, 27 assists, 16 deaths. That's over the course of the spring split. So yes, if Hillsong is just playing well, I share the opinion he could do it another champion. But when you've also got Pinoy who's not putting himself in great positions. Either way, let's get back to the game really quickly. One thing that I am noticing a trend from both teams, they're not necessarily all on the same page when it comes to decision making. That previous team fight was a great example. Kikis and Chachi got so far ahead of Vardags and Power of Evil, fairly immobile carries, that they were late to the party and they couldn't do more of the team fight. You look at that weird mid lane fight over several minutes. Everybody was split up everywhere, and it just kind of felt like the chaos of the series is sinking into the players' decision making.
Yeah, that's for sure. But Gambit did say before the game, if Unicorns went all solo queue style and were just fighting all over the map, it would be in favor of Gambit. But they've not been winning out in this game from these fights here. They had the early game, once again. Betsy won the mid lane, got the tower, got kills, and everything. It was looking great in the bottom lane. There was a big CS lead for Pinoy. And then suddenly, the mistakes come, and Unicorns managed to punish them every single time. And that's why they are hitting gold now, hitting dragons.
Notice how much more cautious Gambit's playing as well. You contrast to the previous 2 games, and Gambit realizing they need to strategically pick their fights more often. And we actually thought coming into the series that Gambit were a pretty good team at finding the fights that suited the game and their team comp. And that's just not really been the case over the last 2 matches.
No, definitely made some over-aggressive plays. They're trying to trap Unicorns, but they're just backing away. There's only Diamond kind of sitting in there, so you couldn't really do a whole lot from them. And Unicorns of Love don't really mind too much. There's wards in the jungle because there's no objective to fight over. You see this from Power of Evil quite a few times as well. The Elixir being picked up fairly early. Sim to start this poke. Engage come in from Chachi.
Oh, Chachi's on the back line. The tidal wave's going to split up Unicorns ever so slightly. How long can Pinoy stay alive? Diamond gets caught by a Dark Binding. His Cabochon is still on the front line. He will get dropped shortly. Vizicachi's forced away from the fight, but it's Unicorns of Love that get a kill. The Zap just goes wide, but the Living Artillery does not. And Power of Evil get the second kill of the fight as the Unicorns with a great re-engage. Vizicachi from the side, splitting up Gambit. The Unicorns gain control of the jungle.
Gambit really struggles when it comes to getting or reaching the backline of the Unicorns of Love. Again, Vardags, Power of Evil, they are perfectly safe. The engagement was onto Hillsang, I believe, who flashed away from the bubble. And then we just saw Unicorn say, fair enough, we have a good opening here. You're standing somewhat in a choke point. We have a sign charging from the side. And they take another win from them. Now you have this Jinx to fast push down the tower, so you are in a prime position to keep extending your goal lead. Dragon is up in about a minute's time. That's going to be the next objective for them. Gambit, in this situation, doesn't really have any clear-cut objective to go for. Because if you start sieging on a tower, there's enough wave clear on the Unicorns of Love side to just stop you from getting that tower ever. You can't really split push, because you have a Maoka into a sign, that's never going to go anywhere. You can use the Rek'Sai potentially as a split pushing tool, but it's very hard for you to set that up correctly when there's also quite a lot of engage options with the likes of a Sion from the Unicorns to force a fight, or just more poke in the mid lane. If Betsy just sits in the mid lane, he gets out-traded now by Power of Evil. So it's really a tricky situation for Gambit in how they want to play the map. They keep looking for fights, which is what they can do, but then you need to have the vision control in order to get the flank on Power of Evil or Vardax, otherwise you're not going to win the fight. They don't have the damage to take down 2 tanks from the Unicorns of Love.
We'll see whether or not Gambit can get control of the vision, and whether or not Pinoy can get enough auto attacks off in a team fight for that Ren to do anything. Kikis is just getting beefier and beefier. 3,300 hit points before a 230 shield that can, you know, pop up every 5
Look
or so
what
seconds.
Gambit is doing now, though. They're
Turtle
trying
Stars.
to simply flank around Unicorns from multiple angles.
Oh, this is so scary.
Look at Diamond here. He's gonna come in from behind onto the 2 carries.
So Diamond has managed to find them with Cabo Shot. They've got the first kill into Power of Evil, and the Acathian Surprise will get some reply back. Edward continues to chase as Pinoy is hammering through. He's got the Bloodthirster lifesteal, but he gets popped. Kill from Vardax. They've traded AD carry for AD carry, and everybody's going down. It's the top laners and the tanks doing battle, but Kikis and Chachi are in a better situation. A giant tree is being chased by a lumberjack, and as all things remain natural, the axe looks to cut down the oak tree. Diamond will be the first to fall as Chachi continues to chase, gets a knock up onto Cabo Shot. The bear slap holds him in place, and the Phoenix dance burns him down. It's a matter of time. A double kill for Kikis, and despite popping Power of Evil early, Gambit unable to win the fight.
That was close to the best engage possible from Gambit. Look at Diamond on your minimap here, sneaking in behind Vardax and Power of Evil. He gets the knockoff. We can see Black Shield on Vardax. So Kabashak goes in to get the first kill. Let's look at Pinoy here, what he's doing in the back line. Normally you would see the AD carry try and take down the tanks, but he's obviously joining a little bit late. Betsy dies as well, and now Pinoy feels like he has to start chasing in to get Vardax, but like he's tanking the damage of 2 big tanks who still does enough against an AD carry to kill him. Kick is doing quite a lot of damage over a long team fight.
Of course, you saw the flash in from Pinoy there. Trying to get in range, ended up costing him his life. Gambit now 5,000 gold, 4,000 gold rather down. Dragon number 3 was secured by Unicorns of Love. And, you know, if a fight drags out for 20 seconds, that Cinder Hulk is going to burn a whole lot. And you're going to have multiple Phoenix stance, multiple Bear stance. There's a lot in Kikis' kit.
It's one of the reasons the tank junglers are outscaling the early game junglers like Rek'Sai, because the Cinderhawk does quite a lot of damage late game, because the bonus HP you get as well from it when you just run around these targets. It also means for the AD carry, if you have to kill a Cinderhawk tank who potentially smites a Grom, who maybe builds a Thornmail, you're killing yourself by hitting him. So you might be forced to go double lifesteal, and it's what Pinoy is doing in this case. He's gonna build Blade as his next item, simply to try and sustain while hitting these tanks. We see Thornmail now for Chachi. The problem is you're still not running any crit, which Kalista is one of the champs who doesn't necessarily need it, because you have your Ren stacks, but you need so many on a tank for it to do anything. They're just simply not made to kill them. And when you got that Hurricane as well, it's not going to do anything to them. Your single target damage is too low. So Gambit, it's going to have to try and get to that backline every time. If you don't, they lose fights.
Diamond able to get away thanks to the tunnel. Fate's Call used to save Eddie. Just a strong engage from Unicorns, unable to find anything. But it will at least burn some of the cooldowns from the Gambit squad. They're in full defensive. Decent enough wave clear, but relatively short range between Betsy and Pinoy. So for Unicorns, if they do set up a siege with the strong front line of Cyanide and the poke of Cogmore, it is a matter of time until a tower falls.
Right there. It doesn't even matter that Gambit has wave clear. What matters is the fact that Power of Evil can keep poking them out and force them back, and that will open up for Unicorns to get just a few hits every time with your AD carry on the towers. Diamond here, he's charging in behind them. Chachi's gonna teleport as well. Seems like Gambit didn't get the engage they wanted.
That's a pretty good trade though. Using the Void Rush to get the teleport.
For sure.
Gambit will be happy with that, but it might just be a momentary respite. Let's look at the poke. Keep your eyes on those HP bars on the right-hand side of your screen, as well as the mana pool of Power of Evil. There is a limited amount of time that he can do this, although he does have blue buff.
Oh,
That will play in his favor.
He's no ulti now to get away.
Oh, unstoppable onslaught. Diamond's gonna get caught. He's gonna get stunned. He's gonna get knocked up. He does sidestep away from the Dark Binding, but it won't be enough, and it's Power of Evil that secures the kill. Diamond is on the wrong side of the Unicorns of Love and gets punished for it.
And Unicorns have had great warding on the flank. They can always see where Gambit is coming from. That's why they could catch out Diamond here, who obviously was kind of stuck behind enemy lines. No real way of getting out for him. And this tower is going to take so much damage from. They should be able to take it down as well before Diamond is even close to respawning.
Definitely the case. Easily secured. Tower number 5. Unstoppable onslaught. Betsy forced to Spirit Rush away. They're going to focus Vizicachi as a tidal wave does actually connect onto Vardex. That's one of the front line down. Vizicachi is in the passive form, looking to get some damage in reply. Unicorns may be a little over-ambitious, trying to use the number advantage in their favor, and they lose Vizicachi for it.
You really want to use that ulti. Smack right under the tower. Giving up a kill. Let's see what they're doing. They're going to play the ward. Gambit, everyone is alive. There's no TP for Chachi. That was used before. They're going to get a good fight here.
Well, Kikis does get caught out. Flame Chompers will hold them in place. Cabashot manages to fly all the way through onto Hillisang. He's tanking up 3. Soul Shackles is used as Eddie gets lobbed into the Fate's Call. Now we do see Cabashot continuing to focus down Vizicachi on the back line. Finally, Pinoy is gone. Kikis forced to flash. It was Kikis rather, not Vizicachi, sorry. They've traded 2 for 1. Gambit with a decisive play. They've got the advantage. They force Kikis away, and they're going to try start this Baron. With all of the Ren stacks and Smite, you have to think the execution is in favor. That's a flash forward. Betsy has found Kikis. There's no Smite. Vizicachi's he gets a double kill with the unstoppable. Roar of the Slayer slows Betsy down, and Power of Evil is spitting artillery shots. That's a flash forward from Vizicachi as another Spirit Rush is used from Betsy to get away. Power of Evil is running out of mana, but Vizicachi has got some CC. He's going to slow Cabashot. The charm does not connect, and the gates are down, and Cabashot is not. He makes it back to base. Vizicachi pressing R on every cooldown. Finds
Best
a
double kill
ever. Through the wall.
That was so sick. That made up for the ulti he made before in the top lane here. That almost cost him a Baron.
Oh, please slow-mo this.
All right, okay, so they want to kill Kikis first. No real surprise. Yala, we don't care about your Kikis right now. Let's look at Chachi flying in.
Is it through the wall as well? It is too.
It is. He smacks the wall and then the area.
Oh!
Yes.
I'm done. Like, I'm done. How do you top that?
Could have been a pentakill.
Oh, wow, really? Talk about setting the challenges high. Vizicachi and the Unicorns of Love maintain control of the game, deny the Baron, and they just keep fighting. Now Diamond sets his sights on Kikis. Here comes Cabashot. They're focusing, definitely not 2D, and they're going to get the kill. It's a small advantage that should let them get Dragon if they want it.
I just don't really understand what's going on here. Like, people just keep kind of walking in on their own. Being caught out from both teams, honestly. Die, give up an objective to the other team when you're supposed to be stronger. Gambit now gets a second Dragon for themselves. Baron is obviously still alive. And you got that Kalista with the stacks. So you can force a fight on Baron now and get the engage. There's no flash though from either Diamond or Cabashot to jump onto Power of Evil.
So difficult to stick around in that Baron pit with all the living artillery though. Bubble does not manage to connect. Power of Evil down to less than half HP. Spamming out shot after shot.
Yeah, we need flashes for Gambit before they want to fight again. Otherwise, they're never going to get to that back line. I guess the same can be said for Power of Evil and Vardex on having flash ready now. But look how far back he's standing. And every single hit, when he has Luden's Echo ready as well, just does some extra magic damage to you, and it chunks you down so hard.
Well, let's take a look at the items, Official. We've not really highlighted those for a moment. For a while, in fact. Betsy, Luden's Void, Deathcap, Blade of the Rune King was picked up for Pinoy, so double lifesteal. Vardex finally working his way towards some lifesteal. Most likely a Void Staff to come in for Power of Evil. There's not a whole lot shining through that's a big surprise. The tanks are getting tankier.
Double scrying up though from Unicorns. slight change as well for them. Clearly is ready to have these fights where they don't have any vision down beforehand and they need the scrying orbs to spot what's going on around, let's say, Baron or Dragon.
Eddie hated that siege minion.
So like, yeah,
There's a
really
teleport coming. Was that a teleport from Vizicachi into the mid? I believe that it was, and Vizicachi's found Edward. Lumberjack manages to take him down. Now Diamond's the next focus. Chilling Smite will hold him in place. Kikis and Vizicachi trying to run down, but the Radiant's Omen will buy them some time to get away. Unicorn. Oh my word! Power of Evil finding Pinoy. Long range. Gambit with 2 members down now have to try to defend a tower. That's going to be impossible to do. Unicorns of Love on the inhibitor turret, as well as the inhibitor. This is going to give them absolute map control. Not that they didn't have it before, but this will stamp a level of authority and dictate Gambit's moves even further.
Might even be able to finish here. I mean, there's 25 seconds on Pinoy. They're going for the tower at least. Still got these 2 mega tanks in the front.
Looks like we're in for a dramatic finish. Eddie's been able to survive, revive rather, 15 seconds before Pinoy can set up. Living artillery after living artillery after living artillery, and Power of Evil gets another kill. 6-2-7 in the back line. Eddie, Cabochon, and Diamond, you cannot defend your base long enough. The rest of Unicorns of Love at 39 minutes take down the Nexus and go 2-1 in this best of 5.
It's getting a little bit scared in Champ Select. They were running this very late game comp again with 2 carries who had to scale up because of what happened in game 1. They fell behind again, but they just show a fantastic ability to punish Gambit every single time they make a misplay. Pinoy being caught in the bottom lane, instant kill for them. In the mid lane, we had a few fights going left and right. Unicorns of Love came out ahead on all of them.
Yeah.
And then we had the Gambit Invader on the blue buff where they didn't have ulti on Betsy. That was just another one where there were 2 kills for Unicorns. So they keep playing these defensive comps, I'm going to call them, where they just wait for Gambit to make a play. And whenever Gambit makes a play, they just punish them and kill them and get ahead and get to late game with Power of Evil and Vardax. And then they're just so much stronger and win the fights.
There's not enough words or enough time to make sense of what we're seeing. But I want to highlight a few very key things. This was game 3, which meant Gambit opted into red side. They changed their pick and ban strategy. Unicorns, not so much. Unicorns with a similar flavor to what we've already seen. Gambit could not win. First pick Morgana is doing work, and again in the next game, Gambit are going to have red side. They're going to have the option to change the plan again, but they need to figure out what they need to change.
Also this Cyan pick instead of that Hecarim. So we no longer see the camp from Gambit on the top side, like we did beforehand, and of course Nautilus not being there and being absolutely useless for the first few minutes, where Kikis is doing a lot more work on the Udyr. So all the picks from Unicorns that had problems in game 1 has been changed, and they're now more forgiven, I've said it too many times.
It makes sense.
Doing a split.
It makes sense.
And that works for them, because they get the counter plays. Gambit really needs to look at the plays they're making and say, okay, do we have to invade blue buff now? Yes or no? Okay, let's just wait for our cooldowns. Then we go next time. Can we just play around? We got early dragon, 10 minutes. Play around these dragons here instead. And they don't.
If there's one thing that we have seen, Unicorns in the last 2 games have been able to play defensively and punish Gambit's mistakes. And that's something that I think is going to need to be a big mindset change. Because playing defensively, especially if you pick a scaling comp, is easier to do than if you play a mid-game comp. You can't afford to play defensively. So
very true.
We'll need to see if we see some alterations to this pick ban strategy.
I mean, the Morgana first pick, it's working. I get why Gambit leaves it up simply so to get Maokai Rex. I still think that's fine, because I think Killerson can do the same on other champions.
We'll see if they agree.
We're going to have to see. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they banned it either.
Unicorns of Love are 1 game away from a semi-final showdown with SK Gaming. And to take a look at how they got there, let's take it over to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Trevor. Picks and bans in this game 3. Unicorns of Love kind of discovered or knew what worked in the second game, and they are sticking with it, and it's absolutely been the right way to go.
I think now, after I've had the chance to think about their bans and picks, it seems like they are prioritizing Morgana simply because it's kind of decent into Maokai. I think if Gambit opt in to ban the Morgana, they're going to instantly prioritize the Maokai. And of course, Hylissang plays a phenomenal Morgana. We can obviously see it this game.
I don't know. Pick and ban is so weird right now, and they keep doing super late game scaling mids, and it's working. But with UOL's style, it doesn't seem like it should. Like, they're fighting at 16 minutes and they're trying to dive stuff. why do they keep picking these scaling mids, and like how is it working out for them? So I'm really curious what Gambit would pick mid, at least, for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me as well, for a player like Power of Evil, who we know is mechanically very adept, I would love to see him on something like a Syndra or on an Ahri, instead of kind of taking the risk that you have to go late game.
Yeah.
But the rest of his team is just doing so much work. Let's actually get one of the replays up on the screen, where Unicorn of Love, you said, finally understands the comp that they're playing. If we get that up on the screen, you can talk us through it.
All right, so pretty much in this team fight, we can see that once again the Morgana is doing work. The Spellbinding, of course, is going to hit Diamond earlier, and the shield is doing work because Kikis didn't get caught. And we see in this team fight, Jinx is doing so much damage, Power of Evil in a great position, and Betsy had the opportunity to catch Power of Evil, but instead opted in to go for Kikis and Vici Chachi. And they're super tanky, as Ahri's not going to do anything to touch their HP at all, and we see them just cleaning up the fight with the Jinx.
Yeah, and I really liked how the engage went. Like, where they fought was basically Gambit had to run past that choke point and go into their jungle or back up. And if they back up, that's perfect ult for Sion. So it was literally the way they started that was Gambit has to fully dedicate or they lose. And Gambit kind of was like, oh, we just got like Morgana Black Shields, we should back off.
Yeah.
And that was perfect for Sion to come in.
Yeah.
And like just because the Maokai engage is so one-dimensional to get the direct side, the Morgana Black Shield kind of denies it completely. That's like the Morgana's strength.
We're jumping off the Maokai hype train in favor. Are you like completely saying, well, they should just keep going for this Morgana and Gambit has to ban it out? Are you off the train?
I don't know, man. Like, Maokai's still ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's just, you have to start, Wing targets that aren't next to Morgana. Like, you saw Kiki's getting caught out a bit because, yeah, once Maokai gets on you and the Morgana's not there to stop it, it's like, yeah, Maokai will stay on you forever.
Yeah.
A second replay that I want to show is that not particularly the Unicorns of Love doing well, although they did, but Gambit getting a perfect engage and still not managing to win the fight.
Yeah, this is actually really good because both their tanks are like swarming their carries, and Power Reveal does 0 damage to the fight and just like insta pops. And at the same time, like Gambit does a really good job of keeping their AD carry alive. I think the problem was Betsy here goes for Hylissang instead of backing up Pinoy. And so Pinoy's trying to get in there, trying to do damage, and Betsy just basically dies like trading with Morgana, which is just not very favorable. And this is where Pinoy kind of overextends a bit to catch the Jinx out to stop the resets. But I think all of that would have been avoided if they kind of did, double tanks over here, and then, kill the tanks and follow up.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys are also, the last thing I want to touch on, we talked about the Cog a little bit as well, thinking about the perfect build for Kog'Maw. This game, for the record, it was Tyr, Luden's Echo into Rabadon's, but he fell out of mana a lot of times at the end of the game.
Like, I've been discussing with Prodi a lot about the build, and we feel that the death cap is unnecessary. You should go for probably the Athenes for mana. It would help a lot in some of these fights when they pick up an early kill. And also the fact that I think Kog'Maw should get these items that don't necessarily scale with each other, but for example, Liandry's Torment and Rylai's, they're super strong on Kog'Maw that has high base value damage.
And also, Luden's Echo is like, a pin item. It has 0.15 AP ratio. It's not very high, so the pin from Boots and pin from Haunting Guys would help his base damage on his R and the Luden's Echo. And I think that's Kog'Maw's strength, is his Luden's Echo proc on his R. So I think just, catering towards that would be a lot better.
All right, we'll keep a close eye on the build if Power of Evil decides to go for it again. But with these 3 games down, let's check in with you guys at home, because earlier we wanted to know which team do you think will best adapt their strategy to a best of 5 and why. And here's what you had to say. Your first tweet is from @KinkyTurtles. My favorite turtles. H2K will do the best at adapting to best of 5 series. SK will do the worst because they have not changed their play style yet. I'd like to throw that over to you because you did say that you thought SK would do very well in a best of 5.
I think like SK Gaming, simply because in Europe it doesn't seem like anyone has actually figured them out perfectly yet. Like we saw the last games they played in the split, they still looked really strong, and like ban and pick wise, I think they're still open like to play these new things that are coming like Cho'Gath, and I would expect them to play that.
I don't know if SK needs to really adapt. Like, sure, everyone knows what they're going to do. They're going to push all 3 lanes, and they're going to pick these 3 AD carries, but just because you know what they're going to do doesn't mean there's like a counter to it. They don't need to necessarily adapt if what they do is always working.
Yeah, exactly.
Something I brought up before is also, even if you have figured them out, you have to be pretty damn good to execute a strategy that will work against it. And I think that might be the problem as well. Our second tweet is from @ZunbunFanatic. They can play anything and everything and win the game. In the beginning of the split, we said, ooh, they're one-dimensional, but they are just so strong at what they do.
I think everything I think is kind of pushing it. Like I can't imagine them playing Teemo randomly, but we see the trend in Fnatic's play is that Huni plays something that he can carry on, and when those bans come in, for example, Rumble, Lissandra, Hecarim has been the trend. When he's going to be put on a Maokai, I'm going to start questioning Fnatic's playstyle, because Maokai has been the trend lately.
And we also saw Fnatic go away from their team fight a couple times and do like a double AD comp, and actually struggled in all their times they played that. So I don't see them adapting that well. I think they have a style that works really good, but I'm not sure if it's going to work with every single comp they play.
And what's unfolding now, the Unicorns of Love are pretty good at best of series as well. We actually have one more tweet from Redo Focusu to be right back. I'm uninstalling my internet. I wonder what that is. Wow.
Wow.
Oh my.
Well,
Oh, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. I love it.
Hold on. Where are they? Here we go. This is just for you. Just for you. I will take it. It's Easter. Man, this is fun.
All right. Guys, any reaction?
Well, I'm gonna let you finish, but the other one had the best cosplay of all time.
Probably is just going to nod. It's fun for him. In any case, looking fantastic, Trevor. And you guys at home, thank you as always for chiming in. Feel free to add to the conversation by keep tweeting at LL Esports. Use that hashtag LCS throughout today's game. We're going to take a short break and go on cooldown as the Unicorns of Love and Gambit Gaming gear up for Game 4. The Unicorns of Love could lock in their spot for the semifinal if they win the next game. So stick around and find out.
Yo, go full Pinoy, you got this, buddy.
Let's focus, guys.
Alright, let's win this game.
Just play our best.
We don't have
It's our first game. Yep.
Good luck, guys. Alex, Power, just talk your level 11 power spike through.
I got her. I got both.
Nice.
What's up, boys?
There we go! Chachi's onto Pinoy. Pinoy will be the next victim. No! The rocket misses! It doesn't connect. There's a double kill. Edward continues to chase as Pinoy is hammering through. He's got the Bloodthirster lifesteal, but he gets popped. Betsy has found Kickers. There's no smite. There's a Chachi's lowering. He gets a double kill with the unstoppable. The rest of Unicorns of Love take down the Nexus and go 2-1